That's it, we're starting. Erev Tov, Shavua Tov to everybody. We're starting our series of lectures again, Baruch Hashem. Before we start the lecture, I just wanted you to know that we post our lectures every time on our website on sharamed.com, so you could go and listen there. Who would like to know the spelling is SHAARHAEMET.com, sharamed.com. You will find it there in Russian, in English, also my lectures there. Now, second, I would like to thank our video man who came to record us here, and also all the crowd here that you came today. B'ezrat Hashem, today we're going to speak about the first parasha that talks about very interesting issues, and really one lesson you cannot speak out everything that what it says there. But in order to understand why was created person, we have to go a little bit to background of it to see what happened there. Hashem decided that He wants to have a world created, and He creates it. In the beginning of creation of the world, He creates all the spiritual worlds. That then He transforms the spiritual world to the physical, this world, with all the galaxies and stars and everything, and He creates the world within 6 days of creation. As we know, first day, second day, that's what happened. For whom He created this world? If you ask this question, everybody answers, for whom? For the person. The person was supposed to exist in this world, and everything in the world was created for him, only for him. Now, if we ask today people, why you were created? Do you know the reason of your creation? Everybody start to answer a big answers, to worship Hashem, to learn Torah, it's very nice. Yeah, but do you understand the deepness of this answer? Do you understand really reason for what you were created or not? If I ask you and tell you, person was created just to eat, enjoy this world through food, would be that reason of creation of the man? No. If I tell you the person was created to be a rich, wealthy man, with no problem of financial problems, would be that answer for the creation of the man? No, because that's not reason. It's only situation that the man could be in, but it's not the reason for creation of the world. If I tell you the reason of creation of the world was to multiply, the person should multiply and make another generation, and that generation should make another generation, and etc. Would it be reason for creation of the world? No. Because the animals, they also create. They also multiply. So what is the reason that Hashem created the man? This question was asked in Talmud, and actually it was a little bit a different way asked the question. Shall men be created or not? Why? Why they came up with such a question? Because we see that a man in his life, most of the time he's suffering. He doesn't enjoy his life so much. Yes, it's true that we have enjoyment of this life from food, from our family, kids, but it's not significant if you compare it to suffering that a person has in his life. Person has a lot of suffering in his life. And Talmud says, Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel, they had an argument, man should be created or not, in the first place. And they came to a conclusion after a big argument that they had for over 2 years. They came to conclusion that the man should not be created to this world. It's better if he would not be created. But with all of this, still Hashem created the man. And more than this, we know that in Midrash, it says that Hashem he asked the angels, let us create a man. That's one of the Midrashim says, let us create a man. And angels, they told him, Hashem, you creating the man, Adam Bikar Bal Yalin. They told him, Hashem, you creating the man with such a respect, with such a holiness, he's not going to last even one night without sinning, without making problems, without making troubles. You know, the man is troublemaker. Don't create him. If you create him right away, the same night he's going to do problems. And as we know, after 6 days of creation, on the sixth day, the man was created before Shabbat, about 1 hour before Shabbat. And he was alive, and Hashem told him one thing to do. What? Don't eat from tree of knowledge of good and bad. Tree of knowledge. And what happened? He didn't listen, and he ate. How it happened? Through his wife, and the Nachash, the Yetzirah, we will go into details later. That's a short story. So, angels, they were right. Right? They told Hashem not to create because he's going to make troubles. And the troubles of Adam Rishon, till today we suffer because of his troubles. We till today suffer. It's not that he did it and it's history and that's it, we have to forget about this. No. Till today people suffer because of troubles what happened with Adam Rishon. Because it affected all the generation. So B'kitzur, if we say that Hashem should not create a man, and it's better not to be created, and Bet Shammai gave the reasoning for that. Why? Because in Torah we have Taryag mitzvot, 613 mitzvot. Most of those mitzvot is not to do. Most of those mitzvot is not to do. 365, like a days of the year. 248 is to do. So what's more chances? To do prohibition or to do mitzvah? To do prohibition. To do something that prohibited. To do something that you're not allowed to do. So you have more chances, it's better not to be created. It's better not to be created than to sin. That's what the Talmud says. But the fact is, we are created. So could you go back? No, you already created. That's what Mishnah says in Pirkei Avot. Al korchecha ata notzar. Against your will you were created. And therefore what you should do now, Talmud says, you should check out your deeds before you do and after you do them. Before you do, you should check out not to do sin. And after you did, whatever you did, you have to check out if you did it properly. Nothing bad should come out of it. Now, after this, we're going to go into details how it happened that Adam HaRishon, he's a crown of all creation of the world. The whole world was created for him. He had no problems, and he sinned. Why he sinned? First of all, we have to know what sin Adam did. Who's going to answer this question? So many people would answer, as it says in Torah, he ate from the tree an apple. That was not actually the fruit that he ate. Talmud has an argument what he ate. Some say it was a fig tree, and others say it was a etrog. Some say it was a special fruit that consisted in it all 7 fruits of Eretz Israel. So we cannot know what it was, but one thing, the fact, because of it, what happened in the world was mixed up, the good with the bad. In order to understand what's a mixture of good and bad, let's understand what's good and what's bad is. If I come to you and ask you what's bad, people right away take certain things, that big disasters. For example, if I tell you the Shoah, the Holocaust, it was good or bad? Everybody would agree it's bad. If I ask you, Yosef saved all the world from hunger, it was good or bad? It was good. You see, everything we know according to the scales of comparison. We compare, oh, people die, it's bad. People stay alive, it's good. But you should know, not everything that's good is really good, and not everything that's bad is really bad. In order to understand this, we have to go into a detailed explanation what's good and bad is. And that's what the most hardest thing the people they don't understand. And because of this, that's a root of the sin that the people they do. They sin because they think that's what they do. It's good for them. It's good. But they do not acknowledge how bad it is. They mix up the pleasure with the word good and the suffering with the word bad. Do you understand it? Do you know that there is in the world a good and a bad, and a pleasure and suffering? And people associate those two things. They say good is a pleasure, bad is a suffering. But do you know that sometimes the pleasure might be good, but sometimes pleasure might be bad? For example, Torah says not to be mechalel Shabbat. And let's say a person after 120 years he comes upstairs and they tell him, Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Moshe. Moshe, let's see your files, what's going on? We see according to the files here that you did not keep Shabbat. You're not going to be questioned nothing, just answer question. Why? He's going to say, what do you mean, why? I had a nice walk on a sea, on a seashore. I went by the shore, I breathed air, I went to the water, I enjoyed the water. It's good. You said to V'shagarat al Shabbat Oneg, you have to enjoy on Shabbat. Then what you did, I said, listen, I like to smoke. So I put a cigarette and smoked a little bit. It gave me pleasure. You see, Hashem said, your aim, your matara in life was to keep Shabbat. That's what you were created for, to keep Torah. One of the mitzvot is Shabbat. So you were created to keep Shabbat. To keep Shabbat is good, but you call it pleasure. You see, and because of that, you were violating Shabbat, thinking that that's what a pleasure is. But really you made bad things on Shabbat, which is prohibited. So people, they mix up those two things and they associate it, good with a pleasure and a bad with a suffering. First of all, we have to disconnect it. And in order to understand it, Moshe Rabbeinu came to Hashem and asked this question, Hashem, why in the world there are men who are tzaddik and good for them, everything is good with them, and there is a tzaddik, righteous man, that everything is bad with them? And also, why there is a rasha, that everything is good for him, and there is a rasha, everything is bad? So, first two parts we do understand. Tzaddik, that it's good for him, it's right. What? Tzaddik, he deserves. Righteous man, it's good for him. Rasha, the wicked one, is bad for him. That's what is right for him. That's a justice. But what about two middle parts? Tzaddik, he is righteous, but everything is bad in his life. And what about Rasha, that he's wicked? He makes all kinds of sins. He eats taref. He doesn't keep Yom Kippur even. He goes, commits adultery with non-Jews and other wives. And he's violating Shabbat. He's stealing. And everything with him is fine. Everything is good. So that's a question came Moshe Rabbeinu with. So Hashem answered to him, Moshe, why you should know? Why are you going into my business, so to speak? I'm not going to answer you. He gave him answer which pushes him away. He said, okay, tzaddik that good for him, it's tzaddik son of tzaddik. And tzaddik that it's not good for him in life, it's tzaddik son of rasha. It's a righteous man, son of wicked one. So then you ask a question, wait a second. We learned that the sons never pay for fathers. And fathers never pay for sons. Ish bechet o yumat, it says the person pays for himself. Person answers upstairs for himself only. So how come he answered such an answer? So meaning he didn't answer him. Comes Yirmiyahu. People of Israel, they made a lot of sins. Hashem sends them a prophet to warn them that the Beit HaMikdash is going to be destroyed. How many years before that? 3 years before that, Yirmiyahu writes Echa, Megillat Echa. You know that Megillah we read on Tisha B'Av when we sit on the floors and we cry for Beit HaMikdash. And it says there that very bad stuff Yirmiyahu wrote there. He wrote that the women going to eat their own children from a hunger, and the Beit HaMikdash is going to be destroyed. We're going to be taken away to Babylon, and big suffering going to happen to people of Israel. Now, if there is a prophecy and somebody tells you what to do, there are two ways. Or you listen to prophecy and you fix yourself, or what do? You kill the one who said this prophecy. So what decided that generation? They decided to kill the Yirmiyahu. They put him into a jail. His own biological brothers, they decided to kill him. Why? If you kill Navi, there's no prophecy. So if there's no prophecy, nothing going to happen. They put Ra'al, they put a poison into his food and brought it to him to the jail. And Hashem told him not to eat it. And he says to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ribono Shel Olam, I didn't ask to be a prophet. You made me prophet. You said from, Beterem etarticha bebetin navin lagoyim netaticha. Before I created you in the womb of your mother, you meant to be Navi, you meant to be a prophet. I didn't ask you to make me Navi. So you, at least, gave me a benefit of, enjoyment of this world. At least they should not kill me. They put me in a jail. I said, I made what you asked me to do. I went and told them there's going to be problems, they should fix themselves. And now, they put me in a jail, and all my own brothers, they want to kill me? Where's the answer? Where's the tzedek? Where's the justice? Hashem says to him also, answer with no answer. The third person who comes to the picture of Rabotai, it's Eov in our Tanakh. It says about Eov, he was such a righteous man that you won't find in Tanakh no one written about him like it's written about Eov. Ish Yashar Yirechet Yere Elokim. He is straight man, tzaddik. Ish Haya Be'eretz Ut. Eov Shmo. Doesn't say such a big, praises about anyone. Not about Avraham Avinu, not about Moshe Rabbeinu, not about Yitzchak Avinu and Yaakov. Eov, he's the righteous one. So asking question, what happened with Eov? Upstairs on Rosh Hashanah, all the angels get together to the judgment day. And who came to the judgment? It says Satan came to the judgment also. And Hashem told him where you were. He said, I was around the world. We were looking whom to accuse. This is general persecutor. He's a general persecutor, Satan. He persecutes the world. He takes the person and says he did wrong this and this and this and this. Jail. Next. That's what Satan's job is. So Hashem said, did you find anything in the world that the people are perfect? So no, everyone, if you shake them a little bit, certain things going to come out. No one is perfect. Who taxes, who this, who that? No one is perfect. So I told him, what about my slave Eov, my servant Eov, Tzaddik v'yashar? He's very righteous. Satan tells him, yeah, I'll tell you why he's very righteous. Because he has everything. And it says about Eov, he had 7 sons and 3 daughters. 3 daughters that were so beautiful, there's no one beautiful like them in the world. They were so much beautiful, those daughters. He was very wealthy and rich man. Every day he used to bring korban to Hashem, the sacrifice to Hashem. Maybe his sons and daughters sinned. Maybe they did something wrong. He was so righteous. And Satan tells him, you know why he worships you? Because he has no problems. Bring on him problems and then see how he's going to be. And it says Hashem sends Satan 3 times. First time he comes, all his children, all his animals, they gone. You know, he had a lot of thousands of camels and sheep and parrot, cows, everything he had. Everything is gone. Died, were eaten up by lions and wolves. That's it, gone. No wealth. Stock market went down. Bank account 0. Margin is minus. Could you imagine? Then, next time he comes, he took away all his children. At once. They were sitting in a party room. They were making a party, a birthday party. What happened? Wind came. He moved the beams of the house, and the tikra, the roof, ceiling, fall onto all children, and they died the same day. So Hashem took away all of them at once. And you could imagine, he hears the story about his stock market. Suddenly somebody comes and tells him, Iyov, lo alenu lo alechem, all of your children passed away. They died. How? The same day. Everybody was coming telling him. Then suddenly he becomes sick. He became so much sick to such an extent that the worms were coming out of his body. He started to be, worms were walking on his body. You could imagine, it's like a dead person. He became like a dead person. And still he was keeping quiet, nothing. His wife, she gave up. She came to him and she said, you know, Noah, Iyov, there is no other way than just to finish our lives. They want to commit a suicide. But before we commit suicide, she said, let's give bracha to Hashem. You know, bracha in quotation marks. It means a curse. It means we're not going to go away like this. We're going to kill ourselves, she said, themselves, and give bracha to Hashem. Bracha in opposite way. And Iyov said, no. You only understand how to accept the good from Hashem, the pleasure. You have to understand how to accept the suffering from Hashem also. Meaning, Iyov answered her what? It doesn't mean Hashem good if He gives pleasure. Hashem also good when He gives suffering. He is also good. It's also good. That's what Iyov was trying to explain her. But she could not understand it. And what happens? His friends come to him. Iyov, come on, maybe you did some sins. That's why Hashem punishes you. Meaning what? You did something. That's why Hashem punishes you. There's no questions for your suffering. He says, no. Hashem told me that I'm tzaddik. Hashem told me himself, he was prophet, like, you know, I'm tzaddik. I have no problems with Hashem. So why is you so much suffering? He's testing me. And you could imagine, Iyov never said anything to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He says he never said wrong. And you, what do you think? Hashem comes to Iyov. Hashem comes to this person, knocks on the door. He opens the door, Hashem walks in. I'm just telling you this way, you should understand. Hashem doesn't walk in. He comes to the doors of your mind. He opens your mind. And suddenly, Iyov starts to talk to Hashem. And Hashem said, Iyov, any questions you have, you could ask. But, and Iyov didn't, fall apart. He said, oh, eventually, you came. He didn't faint it. He said, I have questions. And the first question he was supposed to ask what? Why? Why all of this? Ribono Shalom. I was not righteous? I was not good? I didn't bring sacrifices to you? What sins I did? Why? But Hashem said, Iyov, I'm at least older, so give me a respect to ask you a question. And with the answer of this question, you won't have any questions. So Hashem tells him, tell me, where were you when I created the world? And Iyov says, what do you mean? Tell me where were I when you created the world? I was nowhere. He said to him, it's not the answer. Let me tell you about you. So Hashem said, do you know about the people of Israel? They just recently left Egypt, because that was the time that the people of Israel left Egypt. He said, yeah. And he was, Iyov, according to one Midrash, he was one of the Yoatzim, one of the advisors, top advisors of Paro, what to do with the Jewish people. And Paro listened to his advice. And some say that was a measure for Iyov to get the punishment. Because he told them to make Bnei Israel suffer. He said, go make them in the suffering by the work, hard work. They should hard work for you, and that suffering, you don't kill them from one side, and from another side they're not going to multiply, because that's what Paro was afraid of. And what happens? You remember, Hashem told him, do you remember Bnei Israel? Yes, I remember. Do you know who was their fathers? He said, I think Yaakov. His name was Israel, so Bnei Israel, it's Yaakov, their father. Who was the father of Yaakov? Yitzchak. And who was the father of Yitzchak? Abraham. And can you tell me who's the father of Abraham? He said, I'm not so good in Tanakh, so I think he was Terach, right? Hashem says, right, it was Terach. Now tell me about the Terach. What do you know about him? I said, listen, I think I read once that he was a big manufacturer of the idol worshippers, of idols. He used to manufacture idols for people. I said, really? And what else? He used to worship idols himself and make others to worship idols. So this is choteh umachti. He's the sinner himself and he makes others to sin. So tell me, do you know who is this person? He said, no. Maybe you should have some connections with him. He said, listen, I'm not from Avraham Avinu, so how could I have some connections with him? So Hashem told him, Iyov, you should know, person, he looks and sees things with his eyes only. But if I will pick up the limits that your eyes have, you will see the whole picture, then you will understand what it is all about. Why? A person has a limit,
Filters.
We have a filters that not allowing us to see X-rays and infrared, right? Because the waves that are so intensive and high or low for our eyes that our eyes cannot catch them. But we know they exist. Who puts this limit? Hashem said, I put the limits to the person to hear certain things. There are certain voices the person cannot hear after 40 years old. Then invented, telephone call, that a person after 40 years old cannot hear. He cannot acknowledge it because his ear does not receive it. It's very interesting. New invention. Now, those limits are put by Hashem purposely. Why? In order we should live, first of all, we should live normally, because if we're going to see what's going around us, not everybody could withstand to see what's going around us in another dimensional world, and therefore we do not see that. But Hashem sometimes could pick it up, and you could see certain things that you would never see. As of it, we go out of ourselves when we sleep, and we suddenly start to see things that we will never see in reality. For example, people who passed away. Do you see them in dream? Yes, it's a fact. People see them in a dream. How come? They're not here. How could you see them? Because when we go to sleep, our soul leaves our body. So therefore, limits are not in. You understand? Limits are off. They're not on. You go out of your body, you're unlimited. So because you're unlimited, you could see those people who are not existing physically in this world anymore. So Hashem picks up the eyes of Iyov, and he brings the mirror in front of Iyov. whom he sees there. Eov sees someone that he doesn't know. He said, do you know who is that? Eov says, no. This is Terach. He says, yes. But Hashem says, do you know what in front of you? It's a mirror. This is you. You was Terach. You were the one who made people to see. You were the one who sinned you yourself. You were the one who promoted people to idol worshipping, which is the worst sin in the Torah. That the Torah says you kill yourself if you don't do such things. Idol worshipping. And now you got the answers. Do you have questions? Eov said no questions. Because now I understand why I suffered. Yes, I was righteous in this world. Now I was righteous. For this period of time I was righteous. But if I see a whole picture of my life, there are many things before that I did. The same soul. And for that I got suffering now. Tzaddik v'yasharu. Baruch Hashem, you didn't kill me. It might be worse than that, For that, person has to be killed. Person who idol worship is, they has to be killed. According to Bedin, they have to get the punishment. Nothing. Hashem said, I kept you alive. And then Hashem rewarded him back. He had kids and money, everything he had back. Now, Rabotai, this we gave just in order to understand what good and bad is. Sometimes certain things we think it's not good, it's suffering, but it might be very good. For you, it's very good, might be. And it's very hard to understand. Sometimes certain things we enjoy and we think that's the best. That's the best good possible. That's a goodness. No, it might be the worst thing that you do in your life. After I gave you this, in order to make you acknowledge what we're going to talk today about, you have to understand that that's what was a problem was with Chava when Nachash comes to Chava. As we know, Hashem created man and woman, and man was commanded not to eat from the tree of knowledge, good and bad. And Hashem told to tell Adam to tell to his wife that you should not eat from the tree and don't touch it. So Adam told to his wife not to eat, not to touch, according to certain midrash. And then Nachash comes to the picture. Who is the Nachash? First of all, you should know, even Nachash was created in the world for the good. Why? Why he was created in the world? Why Hashem should create bad things? Nothing bad from Hashem. Everything is good from Hashem. Question, how do you use it? Nachash was given to the man in order to help him to elevate himself in spirituality, in holiness. Why? Nachash, it's a source of all desires in the world. And we know that not all of those desires are pure. Most of the desires that a person would like to get in his life are not so kosher. Let's call it like this. For example, Torah prohibits us to eat certain kind of food, but you like them. You would like to eat them, but Torah says no. But you like it. You see? Now, what do we need desire for that? So why Hashem switch on the desire? Take away a desire. That's it. We would not have problems. No. Hashem gives you desire in order you should work on yourself. And by working on yourself, you know how to control yourself. You elevate yourself in spirituality and holiness. And for elevation of spirituality and holiness, what do you get? You get a reward. You're getting a mitzvah. And therefore it's going to be a reward for you in the future that Hashem gives you in Olam Haba for whatever you worked on yourself. Now, certain people, they have desires towards money. And they have to, every penny that doesn't lie down as it's supposed to be lying down, they have to put it in a pocket. Right? They steal for this reason and they make combinations and everything, tricks. They make nice money. Why? They cannot hold themselves. They have pretty good amounts of money in their bank accounts. So why are you still stealing? It's enough money for your next 5 generations already you made. Why are you still stealing? That's a desire. You cannot let it go. Some people, they have desire to women. They cannot stand without it. They have good wives, beautiful wives. They have to go around for variety, as they say. And they call it good, but it's not good. It's a pleasure, but it's not good. It's a pleasure that you cannot withstand, you cannot control. Why? Because you're too weak in front of it. So therefore, we're given Torah in order to help us. Hashem gave us problem. Who's the problem? This Yetzer Hara. But really, this one, Yetzer Hara, makes you rich. How? By working on him. By making yourself into control of yourself. You control yourself, you make him to lose, and therefore you gain. That's what it is. It's your control. You know how to control yourself. Now he comes to Chava. First question, why he came to Chava? Why he would not come to Adam straight? You should know that a man has very strong mentality, and if he decides something, nothing going to move him. Right? But who could move mentality of the man? Woman. Woman already saying to me, woman? They know it. And Nachash, you think Nachash didn't know about this? Nachash knew it pretty good. So he goes to woman, because a woman is a weak point of the man. Right? It's a part of him. So how he could say no to part of him? He cannot say no to part of him. Especially when his wife is very beautiful for him and everything, she does everything for him. Okay. So listen carefully. It says that he came to Chava and how he started to talk to her. In order not us to understand who are Yetzer Hara and how he comes to person, we have to learn his ways. And you know, the book of Brishit, it's not book of a story that happened once and that's it. No, it teaches you on daily basis his tricks. If you read it carefully and you learn it in its original. Because whatever translated you hear, it's only part of it, Rabotai. You have to learn it in its original. Because originally, we have a Jewish letters, and Jewish letters, they have so much wisdom in it. So if you learn the deep depth of them, you will know the secrets of Yetzer Hara and you could defeat him there. And most of our Chachamim did so. They were so holy. Why? Because they knew his ways and they defeated him. He could not go against them anymore. And he became helper of them. Even one Tana used to learn with him Torah, it says, with the angel of death. We had Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, had a chavruta, had a friend to learn Torah. Who was the friend to learn Torah with him, Rabbotai? You would be petrified. The angel of death. Could you imagine? To learn Torah with the angel of death. He's an angel, but his job is not so clean. You understand? He's an angel. He's a servant of God. So he used to learn Torah every day with him. If it's possible, just close the door. Now, Rabbotai, we said, so Nachash comes to Chava. And Nachash starts to talk. Listen carefully the tactics of Yetzer Hara. Nachash says to her, Mikol etz hagan, af mikol etz hagan, amar Elokim lo tochelu. From every tree told you Hashem not to eat? Did he know reality or not? Nachash was very smart. He knew the reality. What was the reality? Hashem said, Mikol etz hagan tochelu. From all the trees of the Eden, Gan Eden, you should eat. And only one tree is prohibited. Is it true? Yes. Nachash knew it? Yes. How it comes to Chava? Everything is prohibited, right? Why he says such a things? Probably when a person on a first stage to become religion, he confronts this question from someone in his family or in his friends. He became religious. He comes home. Everything is prohibited. They tell him. That's the first word of Yetzer Hara, you should notice. Why? Why to confront you, not your fellow friend, brother who is not religious maybe? Why not him? Because he's not religious too. It's not to him, it's for you. Confrontation. This is a test for you, what you're going to answer. And you should know. religious people, everything prohibited. It's not true. Everything is permitted. There are certain things you have to know how to do, not prohibited way. That's the right answer. So what Chava comes and answered him? No, we're allowed to eat from every fruit of those trees in Gan Eden. But one fruit we're not allowed to eat and to touch. Nachash says, okay, you're not allowed to touch and eat? I know why Hashem told you this. Because Hashem knows when you're going to eat from this tree, you're going to become smarter than Hashem, and then what happened? He afraid of it. Every person who has certain job, he hates another person, professional, who has the same job. A jeweler, who deals with jewelry, he hates another one he deals with jewelry. He doesn't hate the person who deals with a shoemaker. He doesn't hate it. Right? Why? Because they are... Competition. That's what it is. Competition. People, they don't want competition. They want to be the best ones and the only ones. So that's why Hashem told you not to eat from this tree. Is that true? No. Yetzer Hara comes to a person to mix him up. His job is not to make you sin. His job, given by Hashem, to make you to be confused. Do you understand it? In order to understand it deeper, we'll go into a spirituality of creation of the man, which called a Kabbalah of creation of the man. And we'll try to understand how man was created. As we know, everything physically in this world started to be existed from spiritual source. Spiritually, we have 4 worlds. Atzilut, B'riyah, Yitzirah, Asiyah. There are four worlds that were created. Each of worlds has 10 transformers that transform this holy spiritual energy to this physical world, and those 10 transformers called Eser Asfirot, 10 spheres. Keter, Chochma, Bina, and Da'at inside of it. Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet. Netzach, Hod, Yisod, Malchut. You probably didn't understand anything, but there are 10 transformers. In order to understand it better, I'll tell you, when the electricity comes from electricity station, it doesn't come in 110 volt. In which energy it comes, in which capacity? Thousands and thousands of volts come out of there, right? Then when they get close to the city, there's special cables, high voltage cables they called. They have special transformers that transform this energy, that it should get to your house in a form of 110 volts. American system. Right? Is it true? Yeah. Because if they're going to let this energy go to your house, nothing going to be left from your house the moment this energy hits your house. Because it's a high voltage. And your house cannot bear this. As our world, small physical world, with all our galaxies and everything, we still call it small physical world, cannot bear this big pressure of this influence of holiness from higher spiritual worlds to this world. Hashem created for that transformers that transform from heavy influence to the easy influence towards us, that we could use it and enjoy it. If I tell you, you go to Niagara Falls, you probably saw this. Could you drink a cup of water from Niagara Falls? Just get a cup close to it. You might lose your hand with the cup also. Why? Tons of water come down. Water is good or not? We call the water as a life. But this kind of water, with this pressure, with this influence, it might be deadly bad for the people. True? So that's what it is. We have to have transformers. So those transformers are what 3 first ones, they called Chokhmah, Bina, and Dat. We're going to stop on those 3 first ones because they are most important for the person to understand and how to deal with them in your life, that you should be you should not have big influence of Yetzer Hara on you. Let's say like this. Because some people say, Rabbi, Yetzer Hara, I cannot hold myself. Yetzer Hara. That's the answer they have. But it's not the answer, actually. They're just missing certain knowledge about this. And if you know, going to know this knowledge, Be'ezrat Hashem, today you're going to walk out of this shiur with knowing how to defeat him somehow. How to make him not to influence you. And let's start. There are 3 sfirot that Hashem created, and all the sfirot, all the transformers, they created in image of person. It's really, it's unbelievable. And a person in his body has a relativity to those sfirot. 3 first sfirot called Chokhmah, Bina, Da'at. What's Chokhmah? In translation, it means the wisdom. What's Bina? It's understanding, Lahavin, Bina. From connection of 2 those, a wisdom with understanding, they created the 3rd one. Who is the 3rd one? It's a Da'at that's called a knowledge. Now, where we have it in our body, Chazal say that our right portion of our brain is Chokhmah, the left portion of our brain is Binah, and inside portion of our brain it's a Da'at. That's a physically. But the spiritually, that's how we create it. Now, what do they give me? Chokhmah give me an information. That's what Chokhmah is. You're getting information. And by the way, our generation called a generation of information. Anything that you would like to know, you could find today through internet, through books, through encyclopedias, and everything you have it. That's what's called Chokhmah. Now, what's Bina? You have to now whatever you got information, you have to process it and you have to understand it. So now, once you understand it, there's a 3rd level called Da'at. Da'at, it means knowledge. So what this 3rd level is giving to me? Actually, if you know, how was the tree called? Etz Da'at Tov Vera. It doesn't say Etz Bina Tov Vera, Etz Chokhmah Tov Vera. It says Etz Da'at, a tree of knowledge, good and bad. So is there some connections maybe? Yes. What is the connection? Yetzer Hara came to hit this point in a man, in a Da'at. And actually Da'at, it's a level, it's a transformer that makes the person to keep whole Torah. In order to understand, I'll transform this high capacity of knowledge, what you got now, to a simple example that you should understand. Can you tell me how many people they know that adultery is not good, it's not moral, it's prohibited, and they still do it? Is it fact? Yes. Ask your question why. Do they know that it's prohibited? Yes. Do they understand that it's not moral, it's not good? Yes. How come they do it? So it's a contradiction. Or another example. You know, there was a big professor giving a lesson, a big lecture about the smoking. He said the smoking is the most prohibited thing. You should not smoke. It's a cancer of lungs, and this and that. 3 hours. After he finishes his lecture, he comes out of the lectorial room and he says, "Can I have a cigarette to smoke?" So now, does he have wisdom? Yes. Does he have understanding? Yes. So how come it doesn't go to his deeds? How come whatever he was speaking about didn't come true with him, himself? So that's what his dad is responsible for. The 3rd transformer in a person's soul, called dad, is responsible for your deeds, and therefore many people they know they're not allowed to put the lights on Shabbat. They know that. And they make kiddush, they eat osvo, they enjoy eggs on Shabbat. But the problem is what did I do? I made the prohibition on Shabbat. So what? I put the light. So it's not a big job. You know, I didn't do a big job. They understand it's not good. They know it. They got the wisdom. They got the wisdom, information they got. Rabbi said, not allowed to do this. They got understanding of it. How come it doesn't come to true? How come it doesn't go into implementation of it? Because the third transformer is unplugged. Do you understand? It's off. It doesn't work. The third transformer, that's a place that Yetzirah puts himself always. That's what's called Etz Da'at Tovara. In your Da'at, you have to waken up your transformer. In order to waken up, regularly, you know when a transformer wakes up? By shock. When you shock the person, this transformer wakes up. For example, Chas v'Shalom, somebody of his close family passes away. It shocks him so much, then this transformer wakes up, and you see the person becomes religious little by little. Why? He got shocked. But why it should be by this shock? Why you could not transform? Why you should not plug in your transformer yourself? How come you're not waking it up yourself? And that's what our lesson, how to learn to wake it up ourselves. When Nachash came to Chava, he tried to play with her mind. Not Chokhmah, not Binah, Da'at. What he says, Ki Yodea Elokim. The God knows that if you're going to eat from this tree, you're going to be wiser and smarter than him. And you should not listen to him. Whatever he said not to touch, it's not true. Here, it says, he came himself, touched the tree, and said, nothing happened to me. He pushed the Chava. Chava touched the tree, nothing happened to her. So you see, I told you, as there's the same way you touched the tree and you didn't die, same way you're going to eat, you're not going to die. Stop, till here. Did Chava know that you're not allowed to eat from tree? Yes. Did Chava understand the severeness of the sin? Yes, she knew she's going to die. And still she ate. Why? That the third transformer doesn't work. Yetzirah made his job. With Adam HaRishon, he was creation of Hashem. His dad was so clear. He has so clear mind that he could not do such a thing. And imagine how Chava could do such a thing with Adam. You know, sometimes man loses his mind. Do you know that? And the best time when a man loses his mind, when his wife is with him, or woman is with him, in a physical connection. And it says in our Chazal that when Chava tried to convince Adam to eat this fruit, not when he came from work, not when he came from Bet Midrash, from learning of Torah, not when he sat down to eat, when he was hungry and she could put something into his plate and he could eat it by the way. No. Or she could shred it for him, you know, through the mixer. She makes a salad, he doesn't acknowledge, and he eats it. That's it. No. It says, and she gave him when he was with her. Why? Because that moment, man's mind is a little bit off. Let's say not totally off, but a little bit off. You know that. Most of the people experience it, and they know that very well. They lose their minds. Today, you're getting a smaller picture how Yetzirah gets to you. For example, the story that happened today with us. Nothing to be embarrassed, but we have to discuss it. We announced the lesson to come on 9 o'clock. Did people know? Yes. Did people understand that they should not be late? Yes. But still they were late. It's asking question why.
Bukhari time.
He answers Bukhari in time. I'll tell you, it's Bukhari and transformer that doesn't work. The da'at doesn't work. It doesn't come to implementation, meaning that da'at is a transformer that makes your knowledge and wisdom to implement into your deeds. How many people they know that there is a mitzvah of tefillin? Many people they know. And how many people heard drashot, big lectures about tefillin? They know it's good. And they still don't put it. Why? That doesn't work. How many women, they do know that they should keep the laws of Nida. And they do know severeness of the sin. Today all the books talk about this. And they still say, nekagda, we don't have time to go to mikveh. Why? Why? That's what it is, Rabotai. If you want to fix yourself, you know the reason why you came to this world? The reason why we came is to fix this tree. To fix the da'at. To fix the third transformer in our transformer, da'at, going to be tzalul. We're going to have a clear mind to worship Hashem. And once you have a clear mind to worship Hashem, you have no questions. Everything that comes from Hashem, it's pure, it's clear, it's good. You know how many people in their hearts, they have questions to Hashem? Hashem, why He has, I don't have. It's one of the best questions in this, our popularity here. Why He has and I don't? Is it a question? Tell me really, is it a question? If you would have the clear mind, you would understand. By going to the dentist, you would understand it. How? Why the dentist have so many files? You saw that they have thousands of files. Why? Have one folder for everybody. Why not? Everybody has 32 teeth. Nobody had more than that. Did you see people with more teeth? Less, yeah, they take out. Everybody has the same teeth. Right? Cutting teeth, and then side teeth, and then malaris, premolaris. They have everybody has the same. How come they has for each one separate folder? You know why? Because cavities you have, he doesn't have. Cavities I have, you don't have. The mouth that I have, you don't have. Everybody is unique. He has his own folder. And you should understand. You have your own folder of wealth, and you have your own folder of health, and you cannot ask questions why he and why I'm not. In order to understand how to fix the da'at, we have to work on ourselves. Actually, da'at makes us to feel how we worship towards Hashem. For example, people in the morning, even religious people, they put tefillin. Do you feel that you put tefillin today? Or it became one of the routines for your day? As you go with a credit card, when you put your card in the bank, take the money and go. Do you feel that you put the tefillin today? Most of the people will tell you truth, Rabbi, I put tefillin, I made a mitzvah. But it's regular, we do tefillin, we pray. Why are they missing the feeling? Where the feelings are, Rabotai, tell me, where the feelings are. Feelings are in heart of the person. If knowledge, if wisdom, understanding, and knowledge is in the mind, the feelings are in the heart. Now, in order our feelings to work, we have to put the doubt into implementation. We have to implement it into a deed. You understand that you have to put tefillin. You know about this. You do it now. Now what about the feelings? How to get to the feelings? For example, women, they put the candles on Shabbat. Rabotai, do you know what kind of moment is that to put the candles for Shabbat? Once I said to the woman in Vienna, when I was in Vienna, Austria, giving a lecture, I gave him a midrash that says why woman was commanded to put the candles for Shabbat, before Shabbat. Because midrash says, as you extinguished a candle of the world, which is Adam Arishon, you're going to fix the sin. Hashem said, you're going to put candles for Shabbat. When happened the sin? Before Shabbat, right before Shabbat. when we put the candles right before Shabbat. Did any women feel that by lighting the candles before Shabbat she fixes the sin of her mother Chava? Did she feel that? Does she feel? Maybe yes, maybe no. No, what do you say, women? We didn't know about that, Rabbi. We know the mitzvah, put the candles. Well, where's your feelings? Yeah, you came, Chokhmah, you understand, Binah, Chokhmah, you know, Binah, you understand, yeah, and then you have knowledge, then you have implementation. Problems with the feeling. That moment, the millions of women in the world, they put candles. And you could imagine, Hashem looks at from top, and just imagine if you could see this picture that each house, the candle lights go on in such a feeling. And every woman stands and cries to Hashem for her husband, for her sons, to be Yireh Hashem. They should worship Hashem. They should learn Torah. That moment, where's your feelings? What bothers us? It says in Kabbalah a very interesting thing. The most important part of the body, if we understand it, it's a neck. And you could imagine, in Kabbalah, in spiritual map, the neck has no significance. It doesn't have any transformers, meaning none of the sfirot is mentioned by the neck. But, as we know, the neck is most important by connecting the head with the body. Food, air, oxygen, and the blood. Is it true? Yes. There are 3 channels. In order to feel what you do, you have to go through 3 channels. Channel of food, channel of air, and channel of blood. What are these 3 channels are? Who knows? The Torah gives the remez. Torah gives the hint for those channels about the paro. You know, the oref, our neck called oref. Oref, if you turn upside down the letters, it becomes paro. So this part called like paro. And also paro was very tough person, right? Stiff person. He was a very tough person. He didn't want the people of Israel to let go from Egypt. And that's we Bukhari say gardan tachteh, a very tough neck. You know? Why? It's not stam. And Paro had 3 ministers. It says minister of butchers, minister of wine, winery, you know, he used to do wine for him. And he used to put the wine into his cup. And minister of Sara Ofim, minister of bread, baking bread. So that's those 3 ministers. It's a hint for 3 channels that the head connected with the body. Who are the 3 ministers? Butchers is a blood. Butcher. Now, second is a food. Food is who? It's a food pipe, that we have food pipe. And third is a minister of the mashkim, minister of the drinks. It's a windpipe. Because the one who absorbs the mashkim, one who absorbs the liquids of the body, it's the lungs. The first thing when a person gets cold, who is affected, chas v'shalom? The lungs. Why? Because they absorb most of the humidity and moisture of the body. And when you have the mucus coming out, as a moisture comes out of the lungs. Now, we have those 3 channels of connecting implementation of our mitzvot, meaning understanding into a deed and the feelings. And you should know, if we know what to eat, and we know how to deal with those 3 channels, we would not have any problems with Yetzer Hara. And where his place of being, Rabotai? In the heart of the person. Yetzer Hara plays in his feelings. And by them, he affects all the parts of the body. That's why Talmud says there's a small portion of the body in the body of the person, there's small organ in the body. That all the organs and all the body is dependent on it. What a small organ is? It's a heart. All the body is dependent on the heart. And when Hashem said, put my words onto your heart, it doesn't say put my words into your brains. Why into your heart? Because they're Yetzer Hara, and you have to work with them. How to work with them now? Chava, how she should approach the Yetzer Hara in such a case? He came and he claimed that as you touch the tree, you didn't die. And also if you eat, you're not going to die. What Chava would say? No, maybe I'm going to die. Why I should eat? Confrontation. You need to go against. That's why Talmud says you should make a war against the Yetzer Hara. War means you should disagree with him. Sometimes it's very hard. You know why? Because sometimes you think that you write what you think. For example, once I lost something. I didn't find it. After my mom passed away, Alaiha Shalom, I didn't find something. And you know, Yetzer Hara comes to you and say, maybe he took it, or he took it, or he took it. And puts you into suspicion of people who really didn't do it. And you suddenly, day by day, you think, yeah, really, he took it, and he also took it, and he also split it with them. Then when you think, after 1 month, and a couple of weeks later, I found it. And I said to myself, Baruch Hashem, you kept quiet, you didn't say you took it, or you took it, you took it, because it would be false. And Hashem was testing you. And you could imagine, sometimes you start to believe into your lies. Sometimes you say, yeah, that's how it is. Rabotai, you should know, never believe into yourself. That's what Chazal say. First, never believe into yourself. Chava believed into herself. She said, yeah, right, nothing going to happen. Let's go, let's do it. Never believe. Call, ask. Rabbi, hello, yes, I have a question. This case and this case, what should I do? Even Rabbi cannot understand you, at least you have two people to discuss with. Or somebody else who knows it. Call and ask. Don't be alone. If Chava would go to Adam, what she should do, next step, Chava would say, Adam, should we eat? Because Yetzer Hara said like this and like this. Should we eat? At least ask questions. No, she decided on her own. That's what I'm going to do. Why it comes? It comes of people's pride. People think that they're right. And they never make mistakes. And news for you people. Most of the time we make mistakes. And that's why Bet Shammai said, it's better for us not to be created, because most of the time we make mistakes. And that's what angels, they said to Hashem, he's going to make a mistake. So therefore, our righteous sages, they say in a Pirkei Avot, what they say, Rabotai? They say, never rely on yourself. Al tismoch al atzmach, al diyomotach, till day of the death, never rely on yourself. Meaning what? Don't think that you're righteous enough till the day of the death. Once you die, once you pass away, that's it. Yetzer Hara cannot affect you. Because it says, B'metim chofshi. Kevan shemet adam nasa chofshi. Person, when he passes away, Yetzer Hara already doesn't have deal with him anymore. That's it. Yetzer Hara is only for the time limit that we hear. And our wisdom is what? To know the Torah, to understand it, to implement it in our lives, and to fix it. Today, you got a lot of information. I gave you today only knowledge, meaning the wisdom. You go home, what do you have to do? You have to process it. What the process is? Process called understanding, binah. And a third level, it's called freedom of choice. That's that comes to. If you have right mind, you do right decisions. If you have wrong mind, you will do wrong decisions. You understand? That's what very important. You should have right mind. And you should know, he will spend 24/7, 365 just to make you מבולבל. לבלבל אותך. He will mix your mind. He will not let it go. And all time that you're alive. And that's a situation between husband and a wife. That's a situation between everybody. He mixes up our minds. His job is not to make us to sin. His job to mix our minds that we should not be in right mind. That's all. And once we're not in right mind, we do sins. That's it. Do you understand it? אין אדם חוטא אלא נכנס בו רוח שטות. Person makes sins when he has a spirit of stupidity. And stupidity is opposite of right mind. Isn't it true? When you have spirit of stupidity, and then people, when they become angry, for example, some people, they become angry, then they come to say, I'm sorry, I was not in my right mind. He is right. He was not in his right mind. Why? He knows that to be angry is not good. He understands it. What outcome of it? But he's still angry. Why he doesn't implement it? Third transformer is off. Waking up, switch the third transformer. Make it work. Somebody makes you angry, you say, no, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees everything. I'm not going to answer him. I'm not going to be angry. Why I should be angry? Those questions you ask, don't rely upon yourself. Don't rely upon yourself. And once you start to acknowledge it, then you should know it takes time. It's not going to work from one time. You will see. Yes, are right away going to test you in this. Not only in anger. There should be many examples to this lesson. I just gave you today a high capacity of wisdom that you have to go and transform it to understanding, and then to transform it through the examples to your life, implement it into your life. And then suddenly you start to feel things. Suddenly you pray today, you go with a smile outside. Why are you smiling? I spoke to Hashem. How many men we see like smiling coming out of the shul that he spoke to Hashem? He says to Chazan, חבל הזמן, נו, תמהר. Faster, faster. But you're speaking to Hashem. I have to go to work. He knows that Hashem gives the parnasa. He knows that Hashem gives money. The wisdom. He understands it. Not clearly so much, but he understands that Hashem, Rabbi said from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, you have your parnasa. But you have to do ishtadlut, he says. He's chacham. He's making himself a smart man. Imagine, you don't have to. Hashem has many shlichim, messengers to bring your parnasa for you. You have no problem. Should you sit and do nothing? No. It's also not good, Chazal say. Kol Torah, she'en imam malacha sofa betela, it says. Any Torah that you learn and you don't have any job to do, at least clean up the Bet Midrash or put the books away, in the end, even Torah you will end up not learning. You have to do something. But the question is how much, which capacity. So Rabotai, today we gave a lesson which could be crucial in our life. And by this, people start to understand maybe why they have problems then with the religion. Why it's very hard for them, religion. Why they have so many questions. First answer, they don't know wisdom. They don't learn. Second answer, because they don't know anything, they don't have nothing to understand. And because they have nothing to understand, they have no right mind to do this. Once you learn, then you understand, then you have right mind to do it, then you start to feel. And then you cannot live it. You will continue to do it. And you cannot live it alone. And you will like it then. And that's how Hashem wants us to worship Him. With love. With a simcha. Ivdu et Hashem besimcha. But to this level you have to get. You understand? Now, the last thing I want just to tell you. As you know, women here pray, men here pray. We pray every day Shmona Esrei. 18 blessings, which actually 19 blessings, they add up another blessing in a later time. By Shmuel Katan added up the Laminim V'Lamalshinim. For heretics, the blessing for them that should not have any tikva. Now, first three blessings, as we know, they talk about the greatness of Hashem and praise for Him. Hashem, you are the shield of Avraham. Hashem, you are the one who resurrected dead people from death. And Hashem, you are the one, the Holy One. Hayel Kadosh, the Holy One. Then three last blessings, they talk about worshipping Hashem. Hashem, you will bring your Shechina to Tzion, to Bet HaMikdash. Hashem, it's very good to praise your name. Hatov Shimcha Ulchan Ha'ele Odot. Hashem, you bless the people of Israel with peace, with shalom. And what about the 13 middle ones? 3 first one is praise, 3 last one is a praise. 13 middle prayers, blessings, what they are for? They're for all people's needs. Meaning, in 13 prayers, in 13 blessings, our sages, they put inside of the secrets of the prayer any need that possible for any Jew in any generation, in any time. Meaning, by just saying those words, you're saying your need. You don't have to even ask. Yes, if you know how to make kavanah in it. You're just saying right things. Just your heart should be with Hashem. Now, the first thing that we ask from Hashem, Hashem give us. What is this? Who knows? After Hayel Kadosh, Ata chonen la'adam da'at. First thing we ask from Hashem. I would imagine, in Bukhari and Tefillah, it would be what? Ata chonen la'Hashem osher. Yeah, you giving to the person the wealth, zahav, gold, silver, platinum, whatever, diamonds, brick houses, Mercedes, BMWs. What else? No. The first thing that we ask from Ribono Shel Olam, Rabotai, it's a da'at. Ata chonen la'adam da'at. Hashem, give me right mind. The second blessing, Baruch Ata Hashem, chonen da'at. Second blessing is what? Hashivenu avinu leToratecha. Hashem, bring us back to your Torah. Baruch Ata Hashem, harotzei b'tshuva. When you could make tshuva, Rabotai? When you have right mind. Person cannot repent. Person cannot make tshuva if he has no right mind. How could he have a right mind if he doesn't learn? Man is obligated to learn Torah every day, at least 1 hour a day. Women also obligated to learn Torah, the laws that they, for them, Ilchot Nida, laws of Nida, laws of Shabbat, laws of Kashrut, you are in the kitchen. Laws of Shatnez in those times, they used to wave for the husband the clothing. You have to know that. You have to learn it. So once you make tshuva, the third blessing comes what? Salach lanu avinu ki chatanu. Hashem, forgive us. Now we repent. We did wrong things. We made tshuva, but forgive us for whatever we did. Please forgive us. Next blessing after forgiveness, who knows? Geulah. Now Hashem brings salvation to us. We make troubles. We ask forgiveness from you, but now save us. We made troubles, but save us now. We had problems, this persecuting us and this persecuting. Just save us from our persecutors. Goel Israel. Next blessing after Goel Israel, what? Refuah. Hashem says, okay, I'll save you, and now I have to treat you. Now refuah comes. What's refuah? You made sins, your soul became damaged. It's sick. Now we have to, what we have to do, Rabotai?
Heal.
We have to heal it. Next blessing after healing the soul, Birkat Shanim. Hashem, bless our year with good parnasa. Birkat Shanim is for parnasa. Do you understand when parnasa comes? After your soul is healed. You understand? Imagine person gets into a car accident. The first thing, what they have to do? They have to come with the insurance, just sign the insurance? No, what they have to do first thing? They have to take him out of the car, bring him to ambulance to make refuah to him. And tell him he's going to be like shavur v'ratzuz, all the broken parts of him they put together, and they put him in band-aids. Is it going to be good to come to sign the insurance papers for him at that time? what kind of person you are, what kind of representative of an insurance company you are. You know, you're not good time, you came not in good time. So that's what it is. If you're sick, it's not good time to come to get checks for Parnasah. You have to heal your soul. Once your soul is healed, then Parnasah comes. One Parnasah it comes, Makabetz Nidchei Amu Israel, all the sons get together. Then you have Shoftim together, then you have judges, good judges come back, Bedin, everything goes according to Jewish law. Then you come to destroy the evil. It says, Laminim Valamalshinim. You destroy the evil. After destroying evil, Mish'anu Miftach LeTzedikim, you become Tzaddik. Then Bonei Yerushalayim, then Matzmiach Keren Yeshua, then Mashiach Tzidkenu. You see how it goes in road? Everything perfect. Each tefillah is perfect. First we have to start with that. So today, we read in tefillah a portion which we never read, only Motzei Shabbat or Motzei Yom Tov. Which portion we read? Who knows? Atachon Antanu. Why do we read this portion? In order to separate Hamavdil ben Kodesh Lachol, between the weekdays and holy days, like Shabbat and Yom Tov. Why do we read it inside of this blessing? Talmud answers, Kol mi sheyesh lo da'at yachol lehavdil, v'kol mi she'en lo da'at eno yachol lehavdil. The person who has right mind, he could separate what's holy, what's not holy. Person who has no mind cannot separate. For him, everything is one. Shabbat he works because Shabbat for him is like regular day. He cannot separate. He has no right mind. Do you understand it? You see how our tefillah is perfect, Rabotai. How Chazal, they put in our tefillah this way to pray. Why? Because everything teaches you a lesson. Today, we finish this lesson with this, and again I repeat it to you. You got a lot of information. Now this information has to be processed, and after it's processed and you understand, it has to be implemented into your life. Whoever has a question could ask now. Baruch Adonai L'olam, Amen v'Amen. Thank you very much. Perfect. Yes. That's